Lulu Neyoka had waited her whole life for this day, the grand wedding she had always dreamed of. The sun bathed the gardens of the luxurious rosethorn villa in golden light. Tall white arches dripped in peonies and orchids. Lulu, dressed in a dazzling white mermaid wedding gown studded with crystals, stood before the mirror. Her rich mahogany skin glowed, and her waist-length curly hair framed her radiant face like a crown. Her best friend, Amina James, buzzed around in a hot pink cocktail dress, ensuring every detail was perfect. "Girl, you look like a goddess," Amina said, applying one last shimmer to Lulu's collarbone. Lulu smiled, nerves fluttering in her chest. Her fiancé, Marcus, had been everything she wanted: charming, wealthy, and madly in love with her. But there was one shadow darkening her perfect day: his mother, Vivienne. Vivienne James was a vision in lime green silk and diamonds, but her smile never reached her eyes. Since Lulu entered the picture, Vivienne had treated her like an intruder. She had tried subtle insults, exclusion from family dinners, and even suggested Marcus postpone the wedding. Marcus always dismissed his mother's drama, but Lulu sensed something deeper, something venomous. As the ceremony began, chaos bubbled just beneath the surface. Guests in bright Western suits and pastel gowns fluttered about, sipping champagne. Amina sat at the front row, watching Vivienne, who wore a twisted smile as Lulu walked down the aisle. Marcus was handsome in a royal blue tux, his smile wide, yet something in his eyes flickered nervously. They exchanged vows, rings, and kisses. Cheers erupted, yet behind every cheer, Vivienne's glare burned. That night, during the reception, Vivienne disappeared midway through the cake cutting. So did Lulu's hairdresser. Amina brushed it off until she returned to find Vivienne slipping something into a velvet pouch. "What's that?" Amina asked. Vivienne turned slowly. "Just an old family heirloom. Nothing for you to worry about, dear." But Amina felt the air shift. Something was coming. Something Lulu never expected. After the reception died down, Lulu and Marcus retired to their opulent honeymoon suite. Lulu, still buzzing with happiness, kicked off her heels and collapsed onto the plush white bed in her sparkling gown. Marcus, slightly tipsy, mumbled a good night and dozed off within minutes. Lulu took off her earrings, smoothed her scarf over her long curls, and drifted into a peaceful sleep. At 2:59 a.m., the hotel hallway security camera caught Vivienne stepping out of her room, wearing a shimmering teal robe and kitten heels. In her hand, a sleek, silver pair of shears. Back in the suite, the door creaked open. Vivienne tiptoed across the carpet like a serpent. She hovered over the sleeping bride, her face twisted in contempt. Her hand shook slightly as she clutched the scissors. "You don't deserve him. He's mine," she whispered. The first lock of hair hit the floor, then another. Then another. Lulu stirred slightly, but Vivienne moved fast. She hacked away with precision. Long curls rained over Lulu's pillow. In the hallway, Amina, unable to sleep, was on her way to check on Lulu when she noticed the ajar door. Her instincts flared. She peeked inside and saw Vivienne mid-act. "What the hell?" Amina screamed. Vivienne spun around, startled. Lulu jolted awake, her hand flying to her head. "No, no. What are you doing?" Lulu cried. Amina lunged at Vivienne. The scissors flew across the room. Marcus stumbled out of bed, still dazed. "Mom!" he shouted. "She bewitched you," Vivienne shrieked. "I had to free you." Security arrived seconds later, alerted by Amina's screams. Vivienne was dragged from the room. Still ranting, Lulu sobbed, clumps of her hair tangled in her fingers. Amina wrapped a robe around her. "This isn't over," Lulu whispered, her voice breaking but her eyes blazing. By morning, the video of Vivienne with the scissors had gone viral. Amina had uploaded it out of sheer rage, her fingers trembling as she pressed post. The caption, "Groom's mother shaves bride on her wedding night." Within hours, it had 500,000 views, and by noon, it was on every major news outlet. Reporters camped outside Rosethorn Villa. Flashbulbs exploded every time the door opened. Lulu, in a neon yellow robe and a designer scarf wrapped tight over her head, stepped outside briefly and was bombarded with questions. "Are you pressing charges? Will the marriage survive this betrayal? Is Vivienne mentally ill inside?" Marcus was a wreck. He watched the footage on loop, guilt painted across his face. He clutched his phone, but didn't dare call Lulu. When Amina finally let him into Lulu's room, she was seated on the floor, surrounded by tufts of her hair the hotel staff had gathered for evidence. "I didn't know she was capable of this," Marcus said, kneeling beside her. Lulu gave a bitter laugh. "You did. You just chose not to see it. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't regrow hair." Meanwhile, Vivienne was being held in one of the hotel's private security rooms, pacing like a caged tiger. She refused to eat or speak to anyone, except her lawyer. When Marcus visited her, she smiled like nothing had happened. "You should thank me," she said sweetly. "That woman was only after your money. I freed you. I love her," Marcus snapped. "And you've destroyed everything. Our wedding night, our peace, your dignity." Vivienne's smile vanished. "Then handle it. Cut her out like I cut. That filthy hair." Marcus stood. "You're dead to me." That afternoon, Amina helped Lulu pack her things, but Lulu didn't want to hide. "I'm not running," she said, slipping on a glittering silver gown and rhinestone stilettos. "I'm going to speak." Hours later, Lulu stood before a wall of microphones and flashing cameras. Behind her was a massive banner that read, "My crown is internal. No woman should be humiliated for loving who she loves," Lulu said, her voice steady. "My crown was not in my hair, it's in my spirit, and that spirit has not been broken." The world erupted in support. Celebrities reposted the clip. Support groups for victims of toxic in-laws flooded her inbox. Hashtags like hashtag bald bride queen, hashtag monster-in-law, and hashtag LULUS revenge trended for days. But as the world uplifted Lulu, Vivienne was still plotting. 3 days passed. Lulu hadn't heard from Marcus. He was staying with a cousin across town. Giving her space, Amina had turned into her bodyguard, personal assistant, and hype woman. "You want me to set fire to her wig collection," she joked. "One morning. Because I will." Lulu managed a smile. "Let's stick to dignity, for now." They were preparing for a rooftop fundraiser, an event organized in Lulu's honor, to raise awareness about emotional abuse in marriages when chaos returned. Vivienne had bribed a guard and slipped away from the hotel's custody. Cameras caught her in a teal pantsuit and massive sunglasses, strutting past security like she owned the world. Halfway through Lulu's speech that evening, the rooftop doors burst open. "LIR." Vivienne screamed, storming the stage. "You poisoned my son. You ruined my life." Guests screamed. Security lunged too late. Amina tackled Vivienne from the side, sending them both sprawling across the platform. A light rig tumbled. Photographers snapped away as Vivienne clawed at Lulu's dress. Marcus burst in, panting, eyes wide with horror. "Mom, stop." But Vivienne was rabid. "She seduced you. She made you weak." Marcus grabbed her, pulling her back as she shrieked, like a banshee, "Enough. You're sick, and you're going to jail for real this time." Police arrived and handcuffed her, dragging her away screaming, "You'll regret this, both of you." Lulu stood frozen. Her gown was torn, her hair wrapped dislodged, revealing her patchy scalp beneath the floodlights. But she didn't cry. She walked back to the microphone, took a breath, and raised her voice again. "To every woman watching, you may be hurt. You may be humiliated, but you are not defeated. Let them try to cut you down. You will rise higher, brighter, fiercer." The crowd exploded in applause. Fireworks burst overhead. Lulu looked up at the sky, letting the colors reflect off her glowing skin and bare head. Marcus approached, tears in his eyes. "I love you. I'll spend the rest of my life protecting you from anyone, even her." Lulu touched his face. "Then stand by me, but don't ever blind yourself again." He nodded, holding her close. They kissed under the starlight. All around them, guests in electric blues, fuchsia gowns, lemon suits, and glittering shoes danced and celebrated not just a wedding, but a war survived. Sirens echoed faintly in the distance, but Lulu danced anyway, because no scissors, no shame, and no mother-in-law would ever cut her down again.